Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world. This is a compressed structural companion to the deep dive. In this episode, we're diving into The Shallows, What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains by Nicholas Carr. And we're going to use it to analyze the digital attention economy as a system that's literally reshaping how we think.
Let's just start with this feeling, a feeling I bet a lot of us recognize. The author Nicholas Carr puts it perfectly. It's that sense that our ability to just sink into a long article or a good book has kind of changed, right? You feel this constant pull to click, to check, to just see what's new.
So, how did we get from scuba diving to jet skiing? Well, to figure that out, we've got to analyze the system itself. We're going to look at its basic architecture, then the incentives that make it tick, the outcomes it creates in our own minds, why it's so darn hard to escape, and finally, what the real crisis is here.
Okay, first things first, let's define the system. We tend to think of the internet as just a tool that we use, but Carr's argument is that it's much better to think of it as a behavioral architecture. An entire environment that is actively shaping our thoughts and our actions.
And this is the absolute key idea. The internet is not some neutral tool like a hammer just waiting for you to pick it up. No, it's an environment. Every single hyperlink, every notification, every infinite scroll, it's all a design choice. And these choices guide our actions. And over time, they literally rewire the pathways in our brains. So, what's the logic that's driving this whole architecture? Why is it designed this way? Well, it really all comes down to the economic engine of the modern web, monetizing our attention. See, the way the modern internet is designed is driven by this incredibly powerful economic incentive. Your attention, that's the product. The longer a platform can hold on to it, the more data they can get, and the more ads they can show you. The entire system is optimized for one thing: engagement. Carr just puts it so bluntly here. He says companies like Google are quite literally in the business of distraction. Their own designers have said the goal is to get users in and out really quickly. Why? Because more speed and more clicks mean more revenue. Slow, deep, contemplative thought, that's just plain bad for business. So this business model creates a very specific set of rewards. The entire digital environment is engineered to get us to click more, to view more pages, and to surf faster. It's a system built on constant interruption and interaction because every single one of those little actions is a data point that can be sold.
Okay, so if the whole system is built on an economic incentive for distraction, what is the totally predictable outcome for our brains? Well, we are effectively training ourselves every single day in a gym for distraction.
Now, this is all possible because of a fundamental property of the human brain: neuroplasticity. Our brains are not fixed things. They are constantly, and I mean constantly, adapting to our experiences and our behaviors. The pathways we use all the time get stronger, and the ones we neglect, they get weaker. It all comes down to this simple, powerful idea. Think about that classic study of London cab drivers, right? Their brains physically changed to store this huge mental map of the city. Well, guess what? The exact same thing is happening to us online. The mental actions we repeat, clicking, scanning, jumping between tabs, they are strengthening the neural circuits for those activities. And this leads us to what I think is a perfect metaphor for what the internet does to our minds. If you go to a gym and you only ever work out your biceps, sure, your biceps will get huge, but the rest of your muscles, they're going to weaken. The internet is a gym where the main exercises are task switching and super fast information processing. So the more we work out in this gym, the more we strengthen certain cognitive muscles. We get incredibly good at skimming, at multitasking, and at responding really quickly to new things. But this comes at a cost. The neural circuits for deep reading, for sustained focus, for quiet reflection, they start to atrophy from lack of use. And these changes happen shockingly fast. A UCLA study showed just how sensitive our brains are to this new environment. After just 5 one-hour sessions of searching online, the brains of novice users had already rewired to look like the brains of experienced web surfers. 5 hours. That's it. These are really profound changes. So you might be thinking, why don't we just unplug? Well, because the system is designed to be an inescapable net. It makes staying plugged in the path of least resistance. For most of us, just disengaging isn't a simple choice. The network has become essential. Our jobs demands we be online. Our friendships are often managed through these platforms. And basic services, from banking to education, they're all integrated into the web now. Opting out comes with a very real economic and social price tag.
And all of this brings us to the core of this whole analysis. Once we can see the system, its incentives, and why it's so persistent, we can finally identify the real crisis. And this is the crisis in perception. We often frame our inability to concentrate as some kind of personal failing, a lack of willpower. But this totally misses the point. It's mistaking a huge structural transformation of our cognitive environment for a personal problem. Our distraction isn't a bug. It's a feature of the system's business model. So once you start to see this as a systemic issue, it forces you to ask much bigger questions about the consequences. This isn't just about whether or not you can finish a book anymore. What are the collective, the societal implications of all this? The effects, they ripple outward. When skimming becomes how we all read, our collective ability to really grapple with complex, nuanced problems starts to shrink. A society that's been trained for distraction and superficiality is just less equipped for the deep, critical thought that's absolutely necessary for a healthy democracy and a functioning public conversation.
Look, understanding the system doesn't mean we can just flip a switch and easily escape it. But seeing the architecture, the incentives, and the outcomes clearly, that is the essential first step. It lets us move from just blaming ourselves to actually making more conscious choices about how we want to engage with these incredibly powerful tools.
Crisis in Perception examines how systems shape belief and how better tools help us see clearly. This project is free and publicly accessible. If you'd like to support the time, tools, and research behind Crisis in Perception, you can become a supporter on Patreon. For a longer audio-based analysis of this topic, see the deep dive linked in the description. If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.